really gonna
Hindi,
be
may kakilala kami ni agency owner. Inutangan yung client. Oh my God.
oh,
Tapos
really?
nagpili ng donation for December. Like, oh my God. Sabi ko, bakit naman ganun? She actually flew me to Australia, not once, but twice.
Wow.
She flew me there. Yeah. And
Nice.
the great thing about that is that I didn't have any travel, even domestic. I didn't even have a passport back then. I felt so guilty and so entitled because I was actually contemplating to quit my job. And a lot of people are getting laid off during that time. Clients are
Yeah.
actually waiting for Filipino talent. They're always looking for Filipino virtual assistants. Why? Because we have great work ethic, great communication skills, and we're very hardworking.
Congratulations. It's not that easy to have that kind of number, just to tell you,
Yes.
because it's really difficult. There's a lot of things that you have to
We
encounter,
can talk
like
about that at a later
yes.
And the reason I started an agency is because I would get annoyed by, international agency owners who are hiring Filipinos, and they would post job ad like $2 an hour or maybe $200 per month. And I tell myself, no, Filipinos are worth more than that. We know if you're reading an AI generated script, so please, as much as possible, sound natural. We require our freelancers to pay taxes. We don't do we do it in the right way. The agencies are greedy, they're doing nothing, and they're getting a lot of a lot of kickback from the agents or the virtual assistants, and they're doing nothing. I just recently had an incident where a virtual assistant actually was poaching a client. It's heartbreaking because these virtual assistant, we were advocating for them. We aim for them to get 6 digits, and this is what they repay you.
And it's way different talking to a Filipina agency owner than those international owners. Napansin ko lang, straight tag English natin. Actually, I was really I told Ray, oh my God, thank you, my Filipina agency.
Ay, sorry, hindi nagtagalog.
Let's get started with our host, and it all starts now.
Hello! Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the VA Radio, your go-to space for real conversations about the world of virtual assistants, freelancing, and agency building. Whether you're turning in from home or your way to work, if you're interested to be a virtual assistant, or you're looking for a job as a virtual assistant or grinding through your task for the day, I'm so glad you're here with us. So, by the way, before anything else, let me introduce myself. This is Anj again, your host for tonight. And please don't forget to follow the VA radio page and the Daily Brew by VA Anj. So, tonight I'm so excited because for tonight's episode, we have a special guest. And, our special guest is a dynamic entrepreneur. She is a process strategist and the founder of Virtual Champions PH. So it is a trusted outsourcing and consulting firm that helps businesses optimize their operations through virtual support and systems development. And with over a decade of experience in administration, operations, and project management, wow. So without further ado, I would like to introduce. But before that, let me just provide first a quick overview about our segment for today, or the purpose of everything that we're doing today about the agency talks. By the way, we are doing this bi-weekly, so please don't ever forget and check out the updates that we have on the page. So this is going to be a bi-weekly live podcast that gives a spotlight to the virtual assistant agencies. So it's an open platform to share their story, highlight their services, hiring processes, job openings, and connect with aspiring virtual assistant. So this is both a networking and informational series aimed at building transparency and community in the VA industry. So you have to better tune in. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest for tonight. We have Eloiza from Virtual Champions PH.
Yay! Hello, good evening. Good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening. Thank you so much, Eloisa, for your time. We're so excited to have you here. And of course, this is our first time to have a Filipina here in the
Oh,
VA.
really? Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, agency talks. This is the first time that I hosted a Filipina, because way back for the previous episodes, we only have like, you know, foreigner CEOs. So it's kind
Internationally owned
of,
agencies.
yeah.
Okay, that's
So
interesting. Well,
that
it's my honor to be the first. Yeah, to be the first
and
agency.
yes, and that's why we are so grateful that you're here tonight. I know that you have a lot of things that you wanted to do tonight, and but don't worry. Though this is impromptu, but I know for sure that we're going to have fun tonight, and we're going to talk about anything about your company and how you get started for Virtual Champions PH, and of course the job openings, what you can offer, and
Mhm.
all of the good stories that you have in your company. So let's start off. For them to know who you are and what your company is all about, kindly tell us about everything about Virtual Champions PH and you, how you get started as a freelancer and now the founder and CEO of Virtual Champions PH.
So yeah, again, my name is Eloiza. You can call me Eloy for short. So my clients call me Eloiza. Um, uh, Virtual Champions is not just a virtual assistance outsourcing agency. So our main focus really is consulting. We're a consulting firm. We're a consulting firm first before we became a virtual assistance outsourcing agency. So the way we started is it kind of happened by accident because I was once your virtual assistant as well. So I started as a virtual assistant way back in 2013. So I was a first time mom, and then I was really bored at home. I wanted to do something with myself, and my son then was always at school, so I have nothing to do at home. So I heard from a friend that there's gigs that you can find online and you can work from home using your computer. And the first gig that I got was an online English teacher for Japanese students. So it was pretty easy, but back then I wasn't allowed to do like full time when I started. So I was only allowed like 6 p.m., maybe to 12 midnight. And I started, teaching. It was easy for me because I worked as a call center agent. So it was very easy to converse in English. I also became a language accent trainer. So it was very easy to teach English as well. So I did that for 1 month, teaching English to Japanese, and I earned 10,000. So for me, 10,000 was already a lot back then. Why? Because when I was a call center agent, I was earning maybe 18,000, but then I had to pay rent, I had to pay transportation, I had to pay my food every day. I go to Jolly Jeep in Ayala Avenue just to survive. If I got paid, I would go to Jollibee or Chucking or fast food. That was like already a
Yeah.
luxury for me. And then you have to buy corporate clothes because even if it's like ukay, you still have to pay for that, right? So that 18,000, my first salary, that's like zero. By its like pay period or payday, I'm already struggling and eating pancit canton just to survive. So 10,000 for me, earning 10,000, that was already my net income, right? Maybe I had to pay like 1,000 for internet, but that's my
Yeah.
my take home pay. So I was amazed because it was pretty easy. And then after a month, it only lasted for a month though. That's that online English teaching. I found another gig in Odesk. So Odesk was Upwork used to be Odesk. So Odesk, somebody invited me for an interview for a writer position. So this is a snippet writer, but basically what we do is we write the metadata description for websites. So the paragraph that you see whenever you're searching for a website, you read something about it. So we
Yeah.
write that. That's like 130 characters that you write. But now you don't do that anymore because the metadata description you can generate that using AI. So that's very easy. But we had to write like 400 snippets every week. And then I earned 20,000. After a month, I earned 20,000. So imagine the jump of my salary from 10,000 to 20,000 in a month. And that snippet writing, I can do maybe in 2 days. So it's out with days. So I can finish it maybe 2 to 3 days if I wanted to, right? So I
Yeah.
earned 20,000. And then I think I lasted there for like a year or so. But then that's SEO. So once you get the ranking, they started laying off people. So I thought to myself, I have to find another way to earn. So I started looking for actual virtual assistance jobs. Back then, I was my main go-to was onlinejobs.ph. So that's where I found my very first virtual assistant employer,
Mm.
and it's Australian because I really like the Australian time zone. I don't have to stay up late, especially
Yes.
when I was still as an agent. I worked in the graveyard, so I was always sick all the time. It was not healthy, right? So my first employer, Australian employer, and then I earned 30,000 part time, 30,000 per month. So my salary kept jumping in a short amount of time, and it's really amazing, right? In corporate, you have to stay maybe 5 years, five
Yeah.
years to get that amount of that jump for your salary. So it was really amazing. After that, he increased my hours to 6 hours a day. I started earning 40,000. And then I moved on to another Australian client, which is a leadership coach. And then I started earning around 80,000 a month. So it's already a lot. It's already a lot. And this leadership coach, her name is Annalie. So Annalie is a Australian leadership coach or corporate coach. What's amazing about this client is that she actually flew me to Australia not once but twice.
Wow.
She flew me
Wow.
there. Yeah. And
Nice.
the great thing about that is that I didn't have any travel, even domestic. I didn't even had a passport back then. So I was struggling when I started working with Annalie. They required me for a bank account. I didn't have a valid ID to present to the bank to open my bank account because I was just at home. I don't have a valid ID. I had to pay the postal office for a postal ID, and then I was able to get a bank account. And I was really worried that I might get offloaded at the airport on my way to
Huh?
Australia because there was
Really?
no yeah, because there was no travel history at all. But because it was funded and sponsored by my employer, that I got in. We only did the visa online. It was really pretty. I was so lucky. I was so lucky, really. So I went there once, and then the next year I also went there. So that was one of the coolest things that I experienced as a virtual assistant. Never in my imagination that I would be able to go to Australia for free, right? And then after that, this is actually my last job before I became an agency owner, this is an e-commerce company based in Switzerland. My boss was based in Switzerland, and this is e-commerce. I was the operations manager. So I stayed there for 1 year, and because of this boss, my Swiss boss, he introduced me to a platform. So he said, "Oh, we need to transfer to this new software." I had to learn it. I had to learn the software. I had to transfer all of our data. I had to teach the team. So and because I'm like the person who would like tinker with all the settings. If I get a new phone, I would tinker all the settings and customize the font and the color and the theme. So I had to break down that software and learn it 100% really fast. And that was the software called ClickUp. So ClickUp is a project management software. It's pretty much like Asana or Trello, or if you have used Monday.com. It's quite very similar. So I had to learn it. 1 year in, I had to learn it, and then my boss said, "Oh, there's a Facebook group for ClickUp. You can join there. If you get stuck, you can ask a question." Or yeah, you can learn from other people. So when I joined the Facebook group, this is already 1 year in of using ClickUp. I ended up answering comments instead because, as you know, Westerners, if they get stuck with anything, they would just go to the customer support. So I was like the customer support. I was answering all the questions. And then somebody said, "Oh, I can pay someone their time to help me with this," which I thought that's very simple. I know how to do that, or answer some pretty simple questions that I know I can answer. So that opportunity that clicked for me, that somebody is willing to pay for the knowledge that I know, the skills that I have. So what I did is, because I had, as a freelancer, you have basic profiles like Online Jobs at PH, Upwork,
Yeah.
Lancer, and all the other platforms. But there was one platform that was very new to me, which is Fiverr. So Fiverr was very new to me. I didn't have a profile yet. So I started a profile there. And then I was earning back then $10 per hour, full time. Okay, so that's 1,600, almost like 80,000 or so, right? So when I started the Fiverr gig, I put there $20. I was shooting for the stars.
Yeah.
It was like a gamble that I took. I took the risk and put $20 there, although I'm only getting paid $10. So I told myself, if somebody books my gig, and it's gonna be worth my time,
Yeah.
right? So,
Definitely.
and it's twice my hourly rate. And then what happened is that, the psychology of pricing, where people would think that if they're paying for more, they're getting a better quality or higher level of service. And so
Yes.
what ended up happening is that I ended up so booked, fully booked, that I don't know what to do with my life, because I had to fulfill my full-time job, like 40 hours. And
Yeah.
then people are booking on Fiverr that I need to fulfill. And it's very exciting. It's very fulfilling. Of course, it's twice my hourly rate. So the reward is really great. And it's a different puzzle every time. It's not like your full-time job where it's like a routine and you already know what to do. It's no longer challenging. Right.
Yeah.
So I had to struggle to make sure that I fulfill the 40 hours and really work on the projects that I have. So that was pretty exciting. And this was the pandemic. So I was contemplating. I felt so guilty and so entitled because I was actually contemplating to quit my job. And a lot of people are getting laid off during that time. So I
True.
felt guilty, right, during that time. But it just totally made sense to me because back then, it was my 1 year anniversary for the operations manager job. And I told my boss I wouldn't accept a job unless it's $15 because I thought I was already like in the $15 mark in terms of my experience. But he said, "Oh, we're just starting, so I can't give you $15 right now. I can give you 10, but we can revisit that again on your first year anniversary." Right? So it was my first year anniversary. This is like a make or break moment. Like I'm on a crossroad in my life. And then he told me when he broke the news to me that unfortunately I cannot give you $15 right now. I can only give you 12. But what broke me is that he actually told me that he said based on my skills and experience, I'm only worth $12. That's how he framed it to me, which broke my heart because I would have stayed with you if you told me that, hey, we're still not doing okay. Can you stay with me for $12? And then once we ramp up, we can increase that 15. But he told me I'm only worth $12 when other people are paying me $20. So that's when I made the decision. That was a tipping point. I
Okay.
told myself, okay, I quit my job. I took the leap of faith and then go full time with the Fiverr gig for $20 an hour, and then it just snowballed from there. I hired my first team member 1 month in, so I
Mm-hmm.
trained somebody else to help me build the agency. So that was in 2021, and
Mm-hmm.
then I saw on the ClickUp page. ClickUp is a startup based in San Diego. It's actually $1 billion startup. It's a unicorn. And I saw on their website that they have like a certification program for ClickUp consultants. And then when I saw all the verified consultants there, nobody was from Asia. No one is from the Philippines. No, not even Asia. So I told myself I want to put the Philippines on the map and be the first Filipino as a
So you're the
verified.
first.
So
Wow.
I applied there. I submitted my application, all the proof, all the demo, interview, video, and I got in. I became a
Wow.
very consultant. So that was really a defining moment for me because that validated my decision to go full time as a ClickUp consultant. Right. So my face is there. You'd find me on the verified ClickUp consultant. But I found out later on that I was not the first. I was not the first Filipino consultant. You know why? Because what they put there is they're from the US.
Okay.
So
All
that
right.
actually worked well for me because I'm proud to be a Filipino. Clients are
Yeah.
actually raving for Filipino talent. They're always looking for Filipino virtual assistants. Why? Because we have great work ethic, great communication skills, and we're very hardworking, right?
True.
So we're very hardworking. So I'm really proud to be a verified ClickUp consultant from the Philippines. So it really worked out for me because I'm proud to be from the Philippines. And back then, um, there was a recruiter that's looking for an agency who's already familiar or expert in ClickUp. And they found us because we advertised as an agency from the Philippines. So they found
Wow.
us and they hired us for a job for that particular reason. And you know why? This is actually ClickUp themselves. ClickUp
Wow.
hired us directly to work on a project, a marketing project for them. So imagine, again, this is like a first full circle moment, just getting recognized by the mothership. We're a very small agency getting recognized by the ClickUp itself. So that up to now is still our biggest contract. And I was telling myself when we were doing the proposal and waiting for the contract signing, I was telling myself I would do this even if it's for free, just for the clout, just for the bragging rights. But yeah, they
Yeah.
paid us for that project. It's still our biggest project up to date. So that's
Wow.
really proud of that and really worked out well. That we're really proud that we are from the Philippines. So that's my long story short. But now, fast forward now, we're actually a team of 40. So from just me to a team of 40 in a span of 4 years. So we're turning next year, five
Well,
years.
congratulations. It's not that easy to have that kind of number, just to tell you,
Yes.
because yeah, it's really difficult. There's a lot of things that you have to
We can
encounter,
talk
like every
about that at a later
yes.
moment. As an agency owner, I know what that means. Like the depth of that statement. I know.
Yes. Okay. So that's the main reason that you are inspired to have your own agency. That's why you build Virtual Champions
Yes.
PH. So now I know. So now they
Mhm.
will be able to understand what's the reason behind Virtual Champions PH. So
Yeah.
what types of VA positions are currently in demand through your agency, since you are a ClickUp verified ClickUp
Absolutely.
consultant, so you have
Mhm.
projects for ClickUp. Do
Yes.
you cater any other niches or jobs or any other roles in
Mhm.
your agency?
Okay. So right now we don't cater to any particular industry or niche, but the common denominator is that most of our clients use ClickUp. So they
Wow.
use ClickUp for their operations. So that means whenever we're hiring, we need someone who already knows how to use ClickUp. If not, set up ClickUp. That's what we look for. So for example, if it's a virtual assistant, at least you know how to use ClickUp on a day-to-day basis. If we're looking for a project manager, you need to know how to set up ClickUp because you're going to be managing projects, and that means setting up the projects in ClickUp. If you are if we're hiring for an operations manager, so we're also hiring like fractional chief operating officer, so operations manager basically, you need to know how to use ClickUp definitely, like an administrative level, right? So that's the common denominator. So some of our clients are in the real estate, in the medical field. Most of them are in the marketing space. So, but yeah, definitely ClickUp is the number one skill that we're looking for. So, and this is the reason why we started offering the ClickUp training because we're also struggling with hiring skilled people. Because for me, it took
Yeah.
me 1 year to be an expert. For somebody that I would train one on one, it's going to take maybe 3 to 6 months. That's hands on training. And I don't have that time to teach someone one on one. That's why the training helps to fast track the learning curve so that you
Mhm.
can learn on your own pace. And then we just teach you the practical application of what you've learned from our training that we provide there.
So the training that you're talking about, is it for free or do you have online course about it that,
So
our
yeah,
aspire? Okay. All right.
So
Tell us
before,
that.
when I still have a lot of time, I used to do a lot of webinars back then. But now we're really very busy. So
Yeah.
we're offering an online course that's going to be running all throughout. So this is a self-paced course that you can take, but we price it at a very low price point because we want as many people to take that. So our marketing consultant said, "What? Why don't you increase the cost?" I don't want that because I want this to be accessible to everybody. Because I know that ClickUp is like the go-to system for a lot of businesses. So it's an important skill. It's an important knowledge to acquire to know how to use ClickUp. So we want it to be accessible to everybody. So that's the reason.
Yeah. So it's not really that difficult for them to find you because the only skill that you're going to look for an applicant or for anyone that wanted to join
Mhm.
your company is they should know how to use ClickUp and
I
your
use ClickUp.
offering. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be like dual purpose. Like
Mhm.
you can help everyone to learn about ClickUp, and then right after that they have the highest probability that they will get hired in your company because nowadays there are a lot of tools running around and it's
Mhm.
just that specific to ClickUp. So good to
Yes.
know about that. So all I can say is that it was not that easy because it's amazing. This is the first time that I heard that it all
A
started
kind of
with
story, right? That's why I'm also surprised that you've just recently interviewed a Filipino agency owner because there are a lot of Filipino agency owners, right, in the Philippines. And the reason I started an agency is because I would get annoyed by, international agency owners who are hiring Filipinos and they would post job ad like $2 an hour or maybe $200 per month. And I tell myself, no, Filipinos are worth more than that. So whenever we're hiring, our lowest entry level is $5 an hour. So we really look for clients who have the budget to pay for premium services. So we don't go for low ballers or low balling clients.
right.
So $5 is the entry point. If you're a project manager, that's $10. If you're an operations or an expert, we pay them $20. And we're a Filipino agency. We're not international. We're paying that level of salary, right? Because that's what we want to advocate. We want to show the world that we're not just admin assistant doing general task. We're also thinkers. We're also experts, right? So we can also do technical stuff, and that's what we advocate for. Like we can be your project managers, we can run your business, we can be your operations manager. We're not just your secretary that you can, you tell them what to do and they will do it. We also think beyond that, we go above and beyond our role. So that's the level, or that's the kind of virtual assistants that we want to develop as well, the talent pool for that, so that the employers, because usually this is what happens, right? The international employers, they would hire Filipinos for, low level tasks like virtual assistants, admin assistants, secretaries. Then they would reserve the budget for experts and they would hire that internationally, like maybe from Europe or Latin America. But we want to change that. We want to disrupt that, right? They can also hire experts from within the Philippines. So, and part of that for us, part of our responsibility as agency owners is we also need to teach our virtual assistants to think beyond admin assistants. You need to upskill yourself so that you can become an expert. Not only your skill, but you also need to develop your mindset, right? And your character. Because more often than not, the hype with virtual assistants that the goal is to earn six digits. That's the goal.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about that. That's your goal as a virtual assistant. You've made it as a virtual assistant, as a freelancer, once you're getting six digits. But they don't talk about what it takes to become a six-digit earner. You
True.
also need to prioritize developing yourself, not just the skills, but the mindset, the emotional awareness, and the mental fortitude. Because I've seen it with our virtual assistants. Our goal for our virtual assistants is we can have as many virtual assistants that's getting six digits. But what happens is that the downfall is that they're not ready for it. They're not mentally ready for it. They're not responsible enough to handle that amount of money. So that's a downfall. And so it's not really the goal. It's really developing your skills and also your character at the same time. So that's
Yes.
what we advocate for. That's why we also have book clubs. So we also have a podcast which is called the Champions Club, where we talk about the mindset, the skills, the personal development that comes with being a highly paid virtual assistant. So there.
All right. I totally agree with you. And yes, I've been seeing a lot of comments of, the new generation of virtual assistants right now wanted to earn six digits, but they don't know actually the behind the
The
scenes.
sacrifice,
Their
the blood and
Right.
tears. Yes.
Yes. And if they say that if you're an agency owner, they all think that everything is just easy peasy, but it's not
Mhm.
actually.
Not.
you know, you just have to. It's never wrong to dream, but you have to do a lot of things before you will be able to achieve those things. So that's what I'm trying to tell all of those aspiring virtual assistants. It's not with a tenure actually. You can be like broke for 2025, but you can earn six digits on 20 this coming 2026. It depends on how you grind and how you aim and achieve those as a
Mhm.
freelancer. So,
Yes.
Virtual Champions PH is your go to because they are specific. You just have to know ClickUp, and that's it. You can be part of their team. So, I just wanted to know about your typical hiring process and onboarding processes aside from you filtering the applicants that they should be knowledgeable about
Mhm.
ClickUp. So, what are
Yes.
the other steps that you have?
So we usually do a TikTok live as well, because a lot of like millennials are on TikTok. So we do a TikTok
Yeah.
live for any new hiring updates, and then you will also find the open positions on our website. So virtualchampions.ph/careers. That's where open positions are advertised. Typical questionnaire that we have for applications would be, we will require, of course, your resume needs to be there. We also request for a video cover letter. So this is important for us because then it helps us weed out, in terms of communication skills. And we know if you're reading an AI generated script. So please, as much as possible, sound natural. It's
Yeah.
better to use your own words instead of reading from a script so we can tell, okay? Or we're not born yesterday. We also require a personality test. So this is free. It's not paid, so you can do that. Grammar test. So we provide like certain websites that you can get that. So the personality test is important because we need to match you with the right personality as well in terms of the client. If the client is ADHD and you're also ADHD, then it's not going to work. It has to be a balance. So if the client is creative, then he needs someone who's very organized. So
Yeah.
we're kind of balancing that. That's why the personality test is important. Speed test. So we need to know if your internet can actually take it, because yeah, the infrastructure is still a struggle here in the Philippines, but we're getting there. And one of the things as well that we put in our application form is that we're very transparent, and we tell them that we require our freelancers to do BIR registration. So this is an important piece because this is how we check for integrity. A lot of
Okay.
freelancers would say they'd rather not. It's a deal breaker for them. It's a deal breaker for us too. Why? Because integrity is very important. It's very scarce in today's world. So integrity is very important as a digital nomad, as a freelancer. It's very hard
Mhm.
for us to test that, but this is one way. This is just one of the ways that we know that you have integrity. If you're willing to pay for taxes that we don't know where it goes, but I know, at least we know that we're doing our responsibility. Whatever they do with our taxes is their problem, but we require our freelancers to pay taxes. We don't do we do it in the right way. When I started, I really did the registration right off the bat. So we're not like the agency that that they can get away with it. We can get away with it, to be honest, yes, because we don't have any laws yet, right? But we won't. That's the agency that we are. We are. We value integrity. We pay our taxes, no matter how huge that is. Especially it's end of the year and it's coming, so we really pay our dues because that's our responsibility, and that's one of our. I think it's also the advantage of working from the Philippines, right? The reason we're getting that rate from the US is because we're from the Philippines. If we're not from the Philippines, we don't get that advantage. So it's our due. It's our responsibility to pay our taxes. So that's one of the things. So I'm just telling you now so that we can, weed out the ones who doesn't want to pay taxes.
Okay. So you can just visit their website, guys. It's at virtualchampions.ph slash careers, and you will be able to see everything there that you need, the available job posts, job openings, etc., etc., and the
Mhm.
processes that they have. Eloiza already discussed about the process and how they recruit and onboard. So that's
Yep.
gonna be it. And of course, what else should I ask? Yeah, this is very important. What advice you can definitely give to our virtual assistants or aspirants who are trying to, who are trying to be a virtual assistant, but they're having a really difficult or hard time to be a virtual assistant or having difficulties getting a client. So, what would be your at
Mhm.
least top five advices to, because, the virtual assistants way back are different from the virtual
Oh
assistants nowadays.
yeah. Yeah,
They
definitely
can definitely compare.
the competition is tougher now because when I
Yeah.
started, I was lucky I was invited to an interview.
Yes.
It's rare that you get that, especially unless you are really well known and you're already an expert, right? Back then, it was the competition was really easy back then. So now it's tougher. So
Yes.
how do you then break that competition? Make sure that you stand out. One, upskill yourself. There's a lot of free resources that's available to you. It's information is free nowadays. So the only thing that's stopping you from learning is yourself. So you really need to make time for that. Upskill yourself. Even ClickUp. ClickUp has a lot of free resources. University.clickup.com. You would get free courses there if you really want to learn and get certified. So nothing is stopping you from learning. All right. So learn, upskill. Make sure that you develop your character as well. Not just don't just read about the skills, learn about the personality development side of it. Make sure that you learn how to do critical conversation, communication skills, the soft skills that you need to learn. Because one of the scare horror stories that clients would tell me is that virtual assistants would just ghost them. Why? Because we hate conversation. We're not really trained to do critical conversations. We're very sensitive as a culture, right? We hate confrontation. So you
Yeah.
need to learn that. You need to learn critical communication where you can still talk about a topic that's a bit sensitive, but as professionals, right? That's one of the hardest things that I see virtual assistants struggle with. If it's like getting difficult and the situation is getting critical, they would just, I would just leave this client. I will just, resign.
Yes.
That's their solution. That's their scapegoat. So you need to develop that communication skills because especially Western culture, they're very direct. Okay, they're not
True.
attacking you, but they're very direct. So you need to learn the soft skills as well. Number three, integrity is very important. So that's what I would advise. Integrity is very important. Make sure that you take care of your clients because what I always say is that you're actually not just, you know, this is not just for your livelihood. You're actually representing Filipino as a nation, Filipino as a workforce. Okay, so make sure that you do your excellent job so that a lot of clients would trust Filipinos. Okay, so
Yes.
don't scam clients and don't ghost clients and
Yes.
don't just rely on AI when you're doing your work. Okay, do it in the best of your ability and be honest. So those are my top three for all the aspiring virtual assistants.
Okay. So I'm still thinking of question I forgot. There are common. I wanted to
You
have
want to
like.
talk about the struggles? That's
I
gonna be
wanted
a
to
juicy one, but we can do another session if you want.
um I was thinking like I wanted to like reality talk about the misconception of the agencies here in the Philippines, because I've
Yes.
read a lot of comments on the
Oh my
virtual
god.
agency groups, like
Yeah.
freelancing groups, like they would like provide negative comments about agencies here in the
Agencies. Yeah.
Philippines, that agencies here in the Philippines ask you a lot of questions
They're very
during.
greedy. They're asking a lot of
Yes, things
questions.
like that. And they
Yeah.
don't understand why, what's our standing. And
Mhm.
me as a person, I don't like to keep myself explaining what's the reason behind. But of course, there are some agency owners that usually
Mhm.
provides comment there, short but impactful. So what are the things that you
Oh
wanted to
God.
clear
Don't make
about
me cry.
those, those common misconceptions about virtual agencies here in the
Yes,
Philippines?
there's a lot of like negative negative feedback about agencies, that if they see that the hiring or the recruiter is a Filipino,
Yeah,
um, they're giving them a hard time, or it's like auto pass for them if it's like a Filipino agency, right? Or they're asking a lot of questions. If it's like an American, they would just hire them directly and upfront, no questions asked. Or that the agencies are greedy, they're
yeah,
doing nothing, and they're getting a lot of a lot of kickback from the agents or the virtual assistants, and they're doing nothing. So the reason, let's just go back. I'm not going to be speaking for the other agencies. So I'm sure there are agencies like that, yes, and you you had a negative experience with another agency. So I'm not going to speak for everybody, but as far as virtual champions stands, is that again, the reason we built this agency is we want to be a company for Filipinos by Filipinos, because as you can see, most of the agencies are foreign owned, and you don't even know if they're paying taxes or they have a legal entity here in the Philippines. So for
yes,
us, we pay taxes. That's one. So we're pro Filipinos. That's why we advocate for higher pay for Filipinos.
yeah,
Again, entry level is $5, and what we get from the markup that we put for our virtual assistants, we share that across the company. We share that for the professional development. We have a budget for professional development for our virtual assistants. We have rewards and recognition. That's part of where we put the money. Our systems, the training that we provide them, the events that we do for them, to make them feel that sense of belongingness, that they are part of community. That's part of the budget. And the marketing that we do, the I didn't get a client without working hard, without building this reputation, without building a legacy or building this company. You don't get that level of client, the quality of client, in just an instant, right? So
true.
for example, if you're starting as a virtual assistant, you're lucky if you get a client who's willing to pay you $100 an hour, but it's very rare. For us, we
Yes.
get that level of client, that type of client, because we've built a reputation, and it takes years. I
Yes.
started hiring my marketing assistant during the first month. So if you would look at our social media, that's 5 years working, and marketing is a cost. It's not directly like our revenue generating activity. So we've been paying, and we have a budget for marketing, and that's the reason why we were able to get clients. And that's what you don't understand as a virtual assistant, that we give you the client on a silver
Yes.
platter, thinking that that's was a very easy part for us to get that client. And then you see that, okay, we're putting a markup, a $5 markup on top of what you're getting. But before we were able to give you a client, it was years of hard work and marketing and building before we were able to get that. So, and I just recently had an incident where a virtual assistant actually was poaching a client. It's
Hmm.
heartbreaking, because these virtual assistant, we were advocating for them. We aim for them to get 6 digits, and this is what they repay you. they would poach the client, thinking that we're greedy and all that. So it's
Yes.
heartbreaking as an agency owner because you're putting your heart in what you do. And whatever revenue or income that we get, we share that with everybody. I share that with everybody. I would get really, I will be better off by I mean working as a consultant independently myself. I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. I don't have to do an agency and endure this hard work. I mean hardships and all the sleepless nights. I'm gonna be better off with just myself, right? I'm okay as a consultant. I can get a full time job, maybe two, and I would still be well off. I would be okay. I wouldn't have this, heartaches and yeah, heartbreaks with leading a team of 40. It's not easy, you know. It's not easy. But the reason I'm enduring this and I'm going for this and I'm persevering is because I want to provide more job opportunities to more people. I want I want I want a time where nobody needs to go outside the country just to earn the same amount because you can earn the same amount just by being here in the Philippines. Especially I'm a mom. I have 4 kids. I could only imagine, mothers leaving their kids just to find a better life. It's hard. You don't understand that. Especially if you're not a mother, you don't understand that heartbreak.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to give more job opportunities. Sorry, I'm really emotional. I told you I don't want to cry. But I want to
I don't
provide
want to
more.
cry. I look after when I cry.
I want to provide more job opportunities. That's why I'm persevering. So if
Yeah.
you're poaching a client from me, you're not stealing from me. You're stealing from the other virtual assistants who are actually doing their work and providing for their family in an honest way. So please, don't just think that we're doing this so very easily. I'm also a virtual assistant myself because I also work for my clients. So I'm not just
Yeah.
an agency owner. So I tell my team that I'm also a playing coach. I work 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. every day just so I can contribute to our agency. So we have budget for Christmas or for our anniversary. So I'm the main contributor, right? So that's the real reality of being an agency owner. It's really hard. I have 40 kids. Imagine I have 40 kids that I have to attend to every day. I have to make sure that they're all right, they're earning, they have enough for their family, and they're okay, and they're healthy, and they have a client. So that's my responsibility to them. So it's really hard. It's not hard, especially December is coming and BIR is waiting for me.
Next week. I can feel you. It's so inspiring,
Yes.
actually. And you are really the mother of virtual champions PH. It's
Mhm.
every agency owners. They are,
Yeah.
I just observed that mostly of the agency owners are mothers, and and I can feel the hardship and all, but I don't want to talk about it right now because it's gonna take forever. Like it's not enough to just have few minutes of
No,
talk.
yeah, this deserves another episode by in itself,
Yes,
like all the struggles of agency owners.
yes. And I really appreciate you sharing everything about Virtual Champions PH
Yes.
and how you started and all of the, everything that has been going on up until now. And there are a lot of lessons that our viewers have learned to this podcast, to this episode. And I hope you would understand now. And it's way different talking to a Filipina agency owner than those international owners because it's way different. So that's why we're so excited to have you here tonight, Eloisa, and thank you so much for
Thank you
sharing
so much,
everything.
Anj.
And our comment section has been, there's a lot of comments and I forgot to read everything. So yeah, we have a greeting from Pengski. Good evening, mga ka-VA. Hello, Pengski. Thank you so much for watching. And we also have a hard comment from Anne Avendano, and we have from John Roy Diamante. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And we also have a lot of comments from Jana Lee. Hello, Ate Eloisa Mariano Serate. Go spread your wisdom and then develop yourself to prepare for that income. So this was the part that we are talking about
Yes.
with digits. And then, we have a comment from Clark Trinidad. Hello, Coach Eloiza. So
Yeah,
there's a
Mark
lot
is
of
one of our students. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And we have another comment again from Janalee, doing what is right even when no one is watching. Yeah, I got you, Janalee. Yes, I really do understand the importance of integrity in everything that we do. Huy, nagakry na siya, Jana, from Jana. Hugs, Ate Eloisa. And a message lastly from Virtual Champions PH, hugs from VCPH team. So there's a lot of people
Thank
watching that.
you. Napaka-supportive,
And
di ba?
yeah, supportive. And I've mentioned earlier, Eloisa, that we can speak Tagalog, but I don't know. Napansin ko lang, straight tag English natin. Actually, I was really I told Ray, oh my God, thank you. My Filipino agency,
Ay, sorry. Hindi nagtagalog.
yes, my Filipino agency owner na talaga. So, makapag-break ako sa English. It's the same thing. I think it's because we're already used to speaking in English and we talk to
Oo.
clients every day. So, parang usual na siya. It's no longer new to
Sanay
us.
na. Mm.
And
Pero
you know,
marami pa
it's
ako
difficult to explain everything in English, especially pag medyo hugot na siya. But yeah,
Oo,
you
hirap na. Ang hirap. Hindi, ganun din naman ako nung high school din. Pag nakikipag-away ako sa jowa ko, English. Mas na-express ko
wow,
yung sarili ko pag taray. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Ba't ganun? Oo.
yeah,
Ano na
sanay,
iyakan?
sanay,
Friday na
sanay.
Friday, nag-iiyakan tayo. Diba?
Yeah
Buong
nga.
Friday
So,
na. Happy
akala natin
Friday.
it's gonna be a easy Friday, but it's not. Ang dami pong gagawin.
Ang dami hugot. Ang dami pong
Di ba?
hugot. Madami pa yan, ma'am. Hindi ko pa na-share sa'yo. Hintayin mo lang. Interviewin mo ako
Sige
ng
lang.
mga 2 oras.
Sabihan ko si Ray, you should
Oo,
create
kasi
another
yung mga hindi,
segment.
I think it's a taboo topic. Ewan ko kung meron wala pa, baka wala pa lang ako nahanap. Yung talagang pinag-uusapan yung mga agency owners and, the flack that we
Yes.
get from,
Maganda yan. Actually,
VAs,
maganda
diba?
talaga yan.
Mm-mm.
At saka, bagay ka din doon na topic. Kasi direktahan. Kasi minsan,
Oo.
di ba, there are some other agency owners na hindi naman, it is based on my observation na medyo play safe pa lang. Pero, it's really
Hindi, may kakilala kami ni agency owner. Inutangan yung client. Oh my God.
Oh,
Tapos,
really?
nag-clean ng donation for December. Like, oh my God. Sabi ko, bakit naman ganun? Ba't naman tayo nananamantala ng mga client?
That
May
is so
ganun talaga.
cheesy.
Hindi natin maiiwasan, di ba? Iba-iba naman kasi din ng mga tao. Pero, yun, tuloy lang natin yung mga magaganda nating ginagawa para at least ma-counter
Yeah.
natin yung mga ganong klaseng agency owners.
Sige, try namin gumawa ng another segment about that. Ikaw talaga una na may invite.
Oo. Maganda yung mga trauma. Yung may mga trauma.
Yes, mga trauma talaga, as in promise. So,
Si
grabe, meron.
John Roy Diamante yan, may trauma din yan eh. Co-agency owner ko din yan, si John Roy Diamante.
Okay. So, hello there. Hello. And baka i-invite ka ni Ray.
Ano naman
Kasi-
sa Amazon training. Amazon e-commerce.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, Ray, kindly take note, Ray.
Ayan. Marami pa akong kilala, sabihan niyo ako. Marami
Sige,
pa akong
sige.
kilala, si Sir Kaloy, Carlo Obe, siya naman ay Task Me Quick. So, agency owner din yon. Si
Wow,
Miss Maya
so-
Davis, agency owner. She's based in Australia pero Filipino. Sino pa ba yung mga ko? Marami pa, agency owners. Kasi meron din akong agency owners group that I can share with you guys.
Nice. Ganda yan. Kasi I love talking. It's not that, iba kasi talaga basta yung kakasama mo is Filipino, yung yung kausap mo sa podcast is Filipino, because there are some topics na only Filipinos can understand.
Yes.
Yes. So, iba talaga. Especially if agency owners, parang nafe-feel mo talaga kung ano din yung nafe-feel nila. So, yun. So,
At saka kasi ako, nag-start ako as a VA talaga. It's not like I'm an investor or gusto ko lang mabukas ng company kaya ako nagawa ng VA agency. Hindi. VA din talaga ako before ako nag-start. So, wala akong alam sa agency operations. wala akong alam sa BPO operations. Mas okay kung meron na akong BPO, kunwari naging director na ako sa isang BPO, medyo alam ko na yung pasikot-sikot. Hindi, I started as a VA. Wala akong corporate experience na management level. So I built this from the ground up. So lahat kami parang ang policy making namin is trauma-based. Trauma-based policy making. Ay, may bago tayong policy kasi galing sa trauma. Ganon kami. Based talaga sa experience lahat. Oo,
Ganun talaga. Every time may trauma, parang na-update yung contract, na-update agad yung SOP.
Oo,
Matik
Ay,
na agad.
may loophole pala dito. Baguhin natin to. Ganon.
Correct. Again, thank you so much, Eloiza. We've been talking for like 56 minutes already and hindi ko na
Thank you
feel
so
na
much.
mag-1 hour na tayo. Actually, it's really fun and very enlightening and inspiring talaga. Thank you so much
Yes.
for being here. And again, guys, if you wanted to check their job posts or job openings, please visit their website. Everything is indicated on the comment section. So we have again, guys, just to tell you, they are providing high compensation. You just have to know about ClickUp, and they are offering online courses, so better check their website. And thank you once again, Eloiza, the founder of Virtual
Thank you.
Champions GPH. I really do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to meet you again soon in another segment. And once again, guys, thank you for watching this podcast, this segment in our podcast. If you have concerns, messages that you wanted to ask, just message us anytime and Ray will be able to answer those for you. And please don't forget to follow Virtual Champions PH page on Facebook and the VA Radio, and of course the Daily Brew by VA Anj. And thank you again for everything for tonight, Eloiza. Thank you for watching this podcast, guys, and I hope that you better tune in for the next episode. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye.